League Cup allocation deduction, players coming in, players going out, and a quarter-final in the Scottish Cup to talk about.
Celtic, we are the best team in Glasgow, and we call it always.
What's happening, Celtic family? Hope you're all doing well out there. Listen, if you could do me a massive favour, hit the like button and the subscribe button. Let's try and get this channel to 5,000 subs by the end of the year. That would be amazing. We only started this in December on YouTube, so to try and get 5,000 subs in a year would be fantastic. But listen, I want to thank you all for your support up until this point. It's been brilliant. So what's been happening with Celtic this week? Let's be honest, it's been very quiet. We're not used to not having a game through the week, as we've been playing every 3 days for months and months now. And we've just got used to being able to come on here and talk about a game that's coming up or a game that's just finished. But it's been a hell of a quiet. It's been a hell of a quiet for everyone. It's been a hell of a quiet in social media. It's been a hell of a quiet everywhere. But there is a few things to talk about. But let's talk about the allocation deduction for the next League Cup at Hampden Park. And some people are getting confused in this. It is the League Cup. It's not the Scottish Cup. It's not anything else. It is the League Cup. So that will see us get a deduction of, I think it says 500 tickets for the next semi-final. If we get there. Let's hope so. But if we get there in the League Cup, we will have a deduction of 500 tickets. Now look, this is not ideal. Whether it just being 500 or not, I know that we've probably got away with one there with it just being 500, and so have Rangers. They've got a 500 ticket deduction as well. But I know it's not ideal. I know this absolutely divides opinion with people, and I've been slated before. I mean, I've went on with Paul John and said that I'm all for the Green Brigade and everything, and I get slated by some people saying I'm only for it because I'm in the Green Brigade. I have no affiliation with the Green Brigade. The only affiliation I do have with the Green Brigade is that we're all Celtic supporters. But I do stand by, and I will stand by the Green Brigade and the boys, because these are the guys that do get the brunt of this. Now, it's not all the Green Brigade or the boys. Let's just make that clear. It's not all the Green Brigade and the boys that are setting off flares. Yes, a lot of the time it may be, right? And I think they would even admit that. Nobody's saying anything about that. But not all the time. I mean, Aston Villa was nothing to do with these two groups of fans. You know, and they get a hard rap. And to be honest, and I will say it time and time and time again, and this is my platform to say whatever it is that I feel. I am all for the Green Brigade and all for the boys. They bring an amazing atmosphere, and without them, the atmosphere is dead. I've said it 100 times in here, and I've said it on one of my videos before where they were going on about just creating an atmosphere on our own. We don't need anybody, we'll create an atmosphere on our own. But you take the Green Brigade and the boys out that atmosphere. It's sad that it's got to that point, because I remember being a youngster and we all created an atmosphere before these groups of fans were set up and in place. We had to create the atmosphere, but since these groups have been about, they've created a monstrous atmosphere. And I'm all for it. I am all for it. But not to the detriment of fellow supporters who have followed their team for years and years and years, far and near. And now it looks like it's going to be even nearer than being out in Europe, because now we're going to get a ban from Hampden. I know it's only 500. Right now it's only 500. I get it. But listen, I understand it. This happens in world football. It doesn't just happen with Celtic or Rangers or Motherwell or whoever's putting, or Aberdeen, or putting off flares, right? This happens worldwide. But we can only talk about Celtic. Now, do I think that pyrotechnics somehow can be just left at home? I hope so, because what's happening now is there's a lot of fans that are not getting tickets to games who deserve to be there, and for people to be setting off pyrotechnics and knowing that we're going to get a ban, and some supporters who have followed their team for many a year, as I said, near and far, and may possibly not get the chance to watch their team. That's sad to me. It's sad that might be the case. So what do? Do we just keep pyrotechnics at home? Is there a way, an option that the footballing world and community can come to some agreement that pyrotechnics are used in a safe way? Is there anything like that is up for option? Because let's not get it wrong, right? Let's not get it wrong. Even the people who moan about pyrotechnics, it is a fucking unbelievable display. The display is unbelievable. All in football, all around the globe. It looks great, it does, but is it truly needed? Is there another way that we can do it? Is there some sort of mad, different colour torches that we can use? I don't know, right? I really don't know. What I do know is that I don't want fellow Celtic supporters missing out on games. Whether that's at Hampden or whether that's in the Champions League or if we're playing in Europe, I really don't want that to affect fans getting the opportunity to go and show the support for the team. It's one of them ones, we all want to bring an atmosphere, we all want to bring this big spectacle, but I think we could all be in agreement that we don't want any of our fellow supporters to be missing out having the chance to go and show their support for the team, because as we all know, we're Celtic and this is a 24/7 thing for us. We live and breathe Celtic, and all we want to do is go there and show the support for the team. So if that means that, if this continues, that all it's going to do is just stop fans travelling to support their team, then for me, it needs to stop. But moving on swiftly, because I don't want to sort of keep going on about this, because we all know where we're at with it. All fans know, every group knows what we want. We want all the supporters to be in there supporting our team. We all understand that. So what do? We have to come to some compromise and sometimes just admit defeat when it comes to maybe pyrotechnics, or I don't know. I hope that it is a spectacle and it looks amazing. It really does. When all fans are doing it, when you're on one side of Hampden and the other supporters are on the other side and there's flares or whatever going, it does. If anybody tells me it doesn't look great, then you're lying, right? It looks amazing. And it brings an absolute atmosphere and a spectacle. It gets everybody going. It looks great. But it can't be to the detriment of fans missing games. It just can't be. But as I said, let's move on from that and let's talk about some speculation that's going about with some incomings and outgoings. And when I say I'm going to skim over who's coming in the door, who's going out the door, I am literally just going to skim over the top of it, because there is no point in going on about it too much, because there is nothing set in stone. We're in the 6th of March when I film this. So there's no point in going on about this has definitely happened, because nobody knows. It's just, as I said, it's all speculation. But I'm pretty sure you would have heard about it by now, is the fact that Alistair Johnston, there looks like there is a bit of interest in Alistair Johnston from Ipswich and Fulham. But listen, that's got to be expected. The guy has been absolutely brilliant, especially this season. But since he's came in the door, I remember the first game, it was against Rangers, and he played out his skin, absolutely his skin. And he's just got better and better and better from there. So as Brendan Rodgers says, as any manager says, as anybody will know already, that when you're playing good football, you are going to be looked at, and there's going to be speculation about whether you're going or whether you're staying. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I think that Brendan Rodgers wants to carry on what we started this season in the Champions League, with trying to build on getting better in the Champions League, trying to build on being that Champions League team where we can come and compete, not just this season, next season, the season after that, is to be continuously getting better in the Champions League. And for us to continuously get better in the Champions League, we cannot keep on selling our best players. There is no way that we can allow that to happen. So I don't know what is being said about this. As I said, it is speculation at this point, but I am under no illusion that there's players being looked at by different clubs, and Alistair Johnson's definitely going to be one of them because he is a fantastic player. But I can only take what we see from interviews, from the way that Alistair Johnson conducts himself, that he looks like he's pretty happy at the club. And Celtic look like they are happy to have them. And I know that the fan base is definitely happy to have Alistair Johnson in at right back. And for him to get sold in the summer, I think a lot of the fans would be pretty disgruntled and pretty unhappy at the fact that we've let another good one go. So I don't know. That's all I can say on it. I haven't heard anything else. I've just heard that Ipswich and Fulham are possibly interested in Alistair Johnson. But again, as I said, it's the 6th of March. We're probably going to hear a lot more between now and the end of the transfer window in the summer. I would like to think that Celtic have got a wee bit more sense about them to let Alistair Johnson go. And I don't know what it's going to take to keep him. As far as I know, as I said, he looks very happy to be there. I think if the right deal was put in place, and plus he's getting, if we qualify, because obviously we've got to do a qualifier this season coming, so to get into the Champions League. So he's going to get Champions League football. He's not going to get that with Fulham or Ipswich, is he? So I think that might be something that he definitely would keep him at the club. That would be an added incentive for him to stay at the club. But Ipswich, Fulham, lot of money in these clubs, so you just don't know. But listen, it is what it is, and I suppose only time will tell with that one. So that's a possibility of an outgoing, but we've got an incoming that is a possibility as well, and I'm pretty sure that you have all heard about this one because there's been talk about this young fella since the last transfer window, and possibly even in the summer last year, if I can recall, there was talk about this young fella, and it's Lennon Miller. And listen, absolute fantastic young player. He's a Celtic supporter. His whole family are Celtic supporters. So to get that over the line, if it's the truth, and I think that there must be some sort of truth to it, because I don't think it was even too far away in January. I think the fact that, you know, everything that happened at Motherwell with Kettlewell, leaving the club and everything, probably didn't make sense for them to sell Lennon Miller at that point in time. But I'm pretty sure, and I do know that there's plenty of interest in Lennon Miller from other clubs. But to be honest with you, I think that he would be a great addition to Celtic. But it's up to Lennon Miller. I know a lot of people are saying that, you know, just go in there, put in a good bid for him and we'll get him. And I dare say that he will come. But Lennon Miller also has to take into consideration, is he going to get enough first team football? Because he is only 18 years old. He has got a lot to work on. Yes, he is a fantastic player and he has shown in the Scottish Premiership just how good he is. So I can see why Celtic are seriously interested in him. I can see why there's other teams that are interested in him. Because potentially for Celtic, as a Celtic point of view, he could be an absolutely amazing addition in there, probably from the off. I think he knows the domestically, he knows the league. And then try to see what he can do in the Champions League. And I, for one, would be really happy if Lennon Miller came to Celtic. But he is a young lad. He does need to seriously think, is Celtic the right option for him at the minute? Because we are pretty strong in that area, in the middle of the park. We are pretty strong in there. So does Lennon Miller come straight in and hit the ground running, straight into the first team? Does he prove himself to get himself into that squad? And you've got people chomping at the bit for that position in there. As I said before in my previous video, that I believe that Rio Hatate might be sold in the summer. But I did say then as well that, you know, if we can keep Jeff Sloop, then I would be happy for Jeff Sloop to play in that role, because we know that he can do it. And we know that if Kieran Tierney is out, Jeff Sloop can play that role in left back. So I still believe Jeffrey Sloop would be a great addition to Celtic as well, and I do think that Celtic should try and push forward with trying to get a deal over the line for Jeff Sloop. So it's a hard one for Lennon Miller to come in and be guaranteed first team football, and I think a boy at that age with the talent he's got deserves to be playing first team football. I don't know if Celtic will bring him in and put him out on loan. That is a possibility, and see what happens over the next season or so. That could be a great possibility that they could do something like that. But listen, we just have to see what happens with it. I, for one, and I think a lot of Celtic supporters would be very happy if Lennon Miller came to Celtic, because he has got massive, massive potential. Massive potential. And we've missed out on many opportunities with potential players in the past, and we don't want to make that mistake again. So I hope that Lennon Miller shines. I really do. But I also understand that he is a fantastic player and he has to make the right decision for himself, because ultimately it comes down to that. And I think for Lennon Miller, it would be a huge decision for him if he was offered a contract at Celtic and didn't take it, because I think it's been well documented that Lennon Miller is a huge Celtic supporter, and I think it would be a dream move for him. So I think that if he didn't take it, it's purely because he doesn't feel like he would get straight into the starting 11 and be playing regular football. That's not to say that he won't be. That's not to say that I don't think he deserves to be. But we are pretty strong in that area. So I don't know. I think signing him and seeing how things go, and if not putting him on loan might be a good idea, because we've still got him at the club. But I don't know. As I said, everything's speculation, so you can't really get into the nitty-gritty side of things. We just have to see how things pan out. That's all we can do, and talk about it closer to the time in the summer. Moving on to Sunday then, and Celtic take on Hibs in the quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup at Celtic Park. And listen, there's been a big thing made about Hibs getting a 7,000 allocation, and well done to Hibs, because I believe that all the tickets are gone, so they've sold them out. So I'm looking forward to an amazing atmosphere. It will be good to have more support in there, even though I have to fucking move seat. Hey ho, it is what it is, and I'm back over. Looks like, I think I seen it on my ticket. I'm back in the North Stand. I haven't been there. I used to have a season ticket for a few years in the North Stand about 20 years ago, so it'll be good to get back into the North Stand. But it's good to see that Hibs were given an allocation of 7,000 and they managed to fulfil that. So, as I said, I'm looking forward to an amazing atmosphere. I'm pretty sure it'll be brilliant. Hibs go into this game with bags of confidence the way they played against Celtic at Easter Road. So they're going to have bags of confidence. They know fine well it's a one-off game. It's the Scottish Cup quarter final. So they know that they need to come out there, they need to perform, they need to give it to Celtic. So I'm looking forward to a back and forth kind of game. They know that they can't sit back. There's no point in sitting back in that low block, and they didn't do that against us again and at Easter Road. That was something that I thought that they would do, but they didn't. Now Celtic looked really sloppy. That last game at Easter Road, Celtic looked really sloppy. They were off the back of the Bayern Munich game, did not look themselves. I don't know if there's anybody who will disagree with that, but we can't make up any excuses, because we made a few changes. The changes didn't really make any impact. And Hibs set up really well and played their football, scored some nice goals, and throughout the game probably deserved to win. I'm not going to go on about that whole carry on with Alistair Johnston again was a baller, right? It's done, right? But Hibs played well through that game. They know fine well coming into this. It's a quarter-final. Could see them into the semi-finals. They are going to come out. They are going to attack Celtic. It's going to go one way or the other for them. that's either going to help in their advantage and they're going to play some good football and they're going to make it extremely hard for Celtic, or they're going to create massive gaps that Celtic will exploit. But again, it depends what Celtic turn up. Obviously, if the Celtic that turn up against Hibs the last time, we're not going to be in for an easy night. We're definitely not going to be in for an easy game. But listen, I don't think that'll happen again. We kind of proved that against Aberdeen only a few days later after that result, that okay, it wasn't the best performance, but it was a lot better, and we still won by 5 goals. So listen, I have no doubt that it's going to be a great day. As I said, Hibs taking a strong away support with them. And I dare say that Hibs will be right up for this. So Celtic need to be on it. They need to be on it from start to finish, go out there, play their football. And when Celtic play the football that we know that they can play, there isn't a team in this league that can handle us. There really isn't. So it's going to be an exciting game to watch. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And I hope that Celtic can progress into the semi-final of the Scottish Cup. But listen guys, I'm going to leave it there. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps grow the channel. And let me know in the comment section what you're thinking about anything that we've talked about today. But until the next time guys, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did not, thank you very much for wasting your time. Stay safe out there, Celtic family. Hail, hail. Take it easy.